McNally Jackson Books. We're good? We're good. Okay. My name is Cara McNally. I'm the owner of the store and also one of Cara's mothers. And it is a pride and a privilege to be having this event here, not only because it is really good to see Cara. I have to say, after I gave birth, I went into Cara withdrawal. It's the only thing I miss about being pregnant, bar none. So that's wonderful, and it's also wonderful because having this wonderful event with all of you people here about home birth is very central to what we do here, which is about reclaiming your humanity, your individuality, in a very corporate, very generic world. And Cara is a crusader for that. So thank you so much for coming. And tonight we have Daphne Beal moderating. Daphne, also one of Cara's mothers and a wonderful writer. She wrote an excellent article on home birth in Vogue about Cara after her own home birth. She wrote a terrific new novel called In the Land of No Right Angles about kind of a coming-of-age story in Tibet and America that is wonderful and everybody should read. And she's also just a journalist all around. So over to Daphne.
Thank you so much. Well, this is really exciting to see so many people here. This is kind of insane, actually. Clearly, home birth is in the air, and people are thinking about it, and I think that's obviously why we're all here. And we have this wonderful panel of experts and people who've thought so much about this particular topic, and this is really just about having a discussion and exchanging ideas and information, and I think, you know, what's interesting is that everybody has an opinion about home birth. If you say, I've had a home birth, or I'm thinking of having a home birth, you will definitely get a reaction. And it will be usually a very strong reaction, unless that person has some kind of poker face situation that they've worked out. So tonight, this evening, I want everybody to introduce themselves, and then we'll talk for a while, and then we'll have time for a Q&A. But this is obviously Cara Muhlhahn, a certified nurse midwife who's written this wonderful book, Labor of Love, a memoir about her work, and Dr. Eden Fromberg, and Jessica Robinson, and Aleida Llanes-Oberstein, a midwife, and I should say also Jessica. Let me do that again. How about Dr. Eden Fromberg is an OBGYN who's also thought a lot about home birth. And written and spoken, and Jessica Robinson is a former patient of Cara's, and Aleida Llanes-Oberstein is also a certified nurse midwife, and I'll let them tell you a little bit more about themselves.
I guess that's me, right?
That's you.
Hi. I've been doing midwifery since the age of 19, and I am currently doing a home birth practice, solo home birth practice for the last 13 years. And I have from all of the experience I've gathered over years, working with different mothers and learning from their processes as I've taken care of them out of a medical model, I actually would like to start a home birth service in the Manhattan area so that the more women that are now coming to me after gaining some education and some knowledge about their choices pursuing home birth, that they can have a home birth, because currently myself and the up to 9 other home birth practices in the New York City area are busting at the seams, and I want to provide the opportunity for more women to have this option. And I would also like to thank everyone for coming, because there's so much misinformation out there about childbearing options, and here you have a wonderful panel of people who are interested in being challenged and giving you the truths of their experience, and I think anybody can gain from that, so thanks for coming.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eden Fromberg. I'm an osteopathic physician and an obstetrician gynecologist, and I actually stopped delivering babies about 4 years ago, mostly because as a doctor, there are a lot of institutional regulations and things that really make it difficult to do what's right for a mom and a client. And so I actually do have a lot of my clients with Cara, and some of them have lovely deliveries with her. I was encouraged to be a midwife at the age of about 19 by the midwifery community in Santa Cruz, California, who said, "You're 19, you're smart, go to medical school and support us." So essentially that's what I've done. So anyhow, I also own a yoga and meditation center. We do a lot of prenatal yoga, and my practice right now is a lot focused on integrative fertility and gynecology, treating the whole woman throughout the life cycle. And I do prenatal care, but eventually send them to Cara or other practitioners of their choice. And we'll talk more.
I want to say one thing. Eden was one of the daring OBGYNs who backed my practice for a while, because that is a very pioneering move for an OBGYN in the New York City area to make that stand. So we thank her.
Yeah. Oh, and I haven't been pregnant yet, but if and when it happens, Cara will be at the birth.
My name is Jessica Robinson. I'm an enthusiastic former client of Cara's, and I think on this panel, partly because my birth experience, I feel like demonstrates the benefits of home birth. I had an extremely, you can speak to this better than I, but for me it was a sort of experience at one end of the bell curve as far as birth can go. I was in labor for 76 hours, and my water broke before I started labor. And then when my son was born, at the end of this, he weighed almost 11 pounds. And I was fine, and he was fine, and I think that never would have happened if we'd been in the hospital. And I just feel so grateful to have been able to let my labor progress naturally, and to have that really totally amazing and beautiful experience in my home, and that's why I'm here.
I'm Aleida Llanes-Oberstein. I am also a certified nurse midwife, and I've been a midwife for 28 years. I am currently a midwifery professor at SUNY Downstate Medical Center, and that's where I met Cara. That's where she went to midwifery school. I'm also the current chair of the New York State Board of Midwifery, and my background has been, I started midwifery in New York at a time where hospitals didn't want midwives. I mean, there was a real anti-midwifery movement. And so at that time, it was very clear to me that my mission had to be to try to get midwifery accepted in this state. So initially I had a private practice for about 18 years in a small community hospital in Queens and Long Island. And was the first midwife to ever get admitting privileges to a hospital in Queens in 1982. Later in the 90s, I had to make a decision. Either I was teaching, I had a full-time private practice, and I was appointed to the Board of Midwifery. And I felt that the best impact that I could make for women and midwives in this state was to continue my legislative work, my board work, and teach midwives. So that's what I'm currently doing now. And my fight has been to keep choices alive for women in this state. I'm the international project director at the midwifery program at Downstate. And because I'm so interested in why is it that other countries have such better outcomes than we do with such less intervention and so on. So that's where I come from. So I come from an advocacy background and a legislative background and keeping choices alive for women.
Thank you all. I think for our first question, I wanted to ask.
So,
Yeah.
Make sure you don't point the mics at each other because that will cause.
When women come to you, pregnant women come to you, Cara or Eden or Aleida, and they say, I'm thinking about having a home birth, but I have these concerns, and what can you say, how can you address them? What's that initial conversation like, and how do you address those concerns and possible complications, which I think anybody who's pregnant has a certain amount of anxiety about, how will it all be, how will it turn out?
Well, I think that because I believe that the conversation needs to take place before someone does make a choice, I continue to do free consultation visits in my office space in the East Village. And every consultation is different and individualized. However, the questions in this country that seem to